I am so into me, but I can learn a thing or two from you. I can weather the storm all by myself, but I'm so glad I got a total crew.
All right. Welcome back into another episode of Total. We are having a good time. Hopefully, when you hang out with us, you can learn a thing or two about life. And that's what we do. Just a group of friends, family. We all get together. We have a good time and we just talk plenty of shit and have plenty of fun. We're joined tonight by our special guest, Nigel, King Nigel, and he has a podcast and a group called the Alpha Male Diaries. He will be joining us. We're gonna give everybody a chance to say hello, but we're gonna start off with Nigel. How you doing, Nigel?
I'm doing great, Mario. How you doing? Everybody in your family doing?
All right, good. Mr. Lee Jack, what's going on with you, bro?
Hey, it's all good. Just here to make it do what it do, players.
All right, I feel you. Miss Diane, how you feeling? Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm feeling wonderful.
All right. And our resident ass kicker, Miss Dinetta, how you doing?
Suki now. I'm fine, darling. How are you?
All right, can't complain. And to our furry feline friends out there, Miss Marlena, what's going on?
Meow meow. How's everybody? Thanks for joining us tonight.
All right. Now, resident big man in the house, Mitch, what's up, man?
Big Mick in the house. Let's play a game of cat and mouse. Boy, look at here.
Boy, look at here. All right. Miss Felicia, what's going on?
Well, I just want to tell everybody hello and thank you for joining. And hello to our new guest. And I want to make sure that new guest understands lane too.
All right. I guess as time go on, he will definitely feel that. And our resident show producer, Miss Andrea, how you doing, baby girl?
You show right, Mario. How are you doing this evening? I'm great. Glad that Nigel could join us.
All right. So as usual, people, same format. We got a lot of stuff, so we're gonna kind of get through the first couple things really quick, so we can have more time to do our usual shenanigans, ask questions, and pretty much just hang out and talk a lot of bullshit. That's what we do, and that's what we do best right here on the Total Podcast, thing or two about life. But if you would like to reach out to any one of the panelists, please send an email to atotalview22@gmail.com. That's atotalview22@gmail.com. Don't forget, for all y'all people that are looking, to invest in that gup, Big Mitch will help you out with that. So y'all stay tuned for all of that. So real quick, we're gonna jump into the current event, and we decided to go with the Sha'Carri Richards. Is it Richards or Richardson?
Richardson.
Okay, Richardson. And she's got what some perceive to be a legitimate beef, saying that there's racism in the Olympics with the IOC and the American Olympic Committee, saying that they let a Russian gymnast, which is a minor 15-year-old who tested positive for drugs, they still let her compete when they told her she was disqualified. So she's saying it shows that racism is alive and well when it comes to things like that. And we're just going to get everybody opinion on that real quick. Since Nigel's a guest, Nigel, you got any thoughts on that?
Yes, I have many few thoughts. First off, when I came across the article, I actually read up on it again today because I did follow it on YouTube. And I find it to be a sincere case of racism, due to the fact that one drug was legal where she was, and she actually was honest about taking the drug first and foremost. And she didn't lie or anything like that, versus the 15-year-old, they use an example as far as her being a minor and that she doesn't have full control whether she take this drug or not, but it still has its advantages. And I think that racism, especially in America, is still on the rise. I don't really think it's calming down at all. Everything is still going on as it did 10 or 15 years ago.
Okay, that's cool. Miss Dinetta, what you feeling about this?
Well, yeah, racism is, of course, is alive and kicking, but her her complaint is against the wrong people. It actually should be against the International Olympic Committee. The American Olympic Committee did the right thing in banning her from playing. The Russian Olympic Committee should have banned their young lady as well. But as we know, in the past, they have been known to do a lot of illegal doping for their Olympians, and they have tried to hide it. In this instance, they said that the little 15-year-old, the drugs for her grandfather were mixed up with her drugs. How is that possible? Why is she taking drugs that her grandfather's taking? We know that's not true. In fact, they held the results from the International Olympic Committee until it was time for her to compete. I understand about Sha'Carri. I feel for her, but her complaint, it really shouldn't be against the American Olympic Committee, but the International Olympic Committee, which of course I would say, yes, it is racism too, because they let Russia get away with a lot of stuff that nobody else can get away with.
Okay, I feel you on that. And by far, throughout the years, Russia has had more athletes being disqualified due to doping than any country on the planet.
Right.
So, Diane, any thoughts on this?
My thoughts are this. Majority of the times, especially in the track and field, we have a lot of blacks that are winning. So, although smoking marijuana, it's illegal, and I understand her reasoning. She should have been, punished. However, that was, in my mind, a tactic to keep, because she was the baddest thing out there. Is to basically pull her out and give other people an opportunity to win. Now, when they did not disqualify the other young lady, that is a clear sign of white privilege in my mind, which in terms is still racism. So both were wrong. I'm not saying that Sha'Carri should have been allowed, because she should have known better, or her team should have known better, even though, she was mourning. she's in the public eye, but so is the other young lady. So it should be equal. And even though it's Russia's job, it should be, I guess, who oversees the whole Olympic should have jumped in and did something about it.
IOC. Okay, I agree with that to a degree. What about you, Andrea?
You're on mute.
If they let one go, they should have let the other go. Either way it goes, Sha'Carri did what she did. The other little young lady, she did what she did. Even though she said the medication got mixed up, regardless of whatever, it's still in your system. The rules are the rules. The rules should not be bent for one. That's it. Point blank.
Okay, let me real quick. I'm gonna put something here that maybe nobody thought about. With the impending Russia about to go into Ukraine, do we think that maybe this is political? That maybe Putin said, "Hey, look, if y'all don't want me to go in here, y'all better let that girl compete." You know what I mean? I mean, this way out there, conspiracy theory type stuff. But I mean, who knows?
Isn't it always political with Russia? Every time they have an Olympics, Russia is pushing up on somebody's country. Every time. It doesn't fail. It never fails.
Yep. So, I mean,
check back in history, every time here recently, every time we've had an Olympics, Russia has been pushing to gain access of somebody else's country so that they can have some leverage. Yeah, sure.
Okay. What are you thinking about this, Big Mitch?
Well,
I'm sorry. Who was that? Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Mitch.
Well, the way I look at it like this. We're not supposed to negotiate or make any type of deals with anybody that's a terrorist or committing terroristic acts. So regardless if Russia had this or that on the table for that, it shouldn't even been in the cards. But I don't really feel sorry for Sha'Carri Richardson, and I'm going to tell you why. We have a problem being black as it is. We always want somebody to make excuses for us. You knew what you was doing. You shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. It shouldn't have been nobody else's purpose or reason for your ass to get kicked out. If you wouldn't have done what you done, you wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. You're an Olympic qualifying runner, and you're gonna let somebody else put you out because you don't want to do what you're supposed to do. And that's part of our problem as black people. We let people dictate us by the stupid shit that we do. Now, that woman, that little Russian girl, she should have been thrown out on her ear. It shouldn't even been heard. Because anytime you are being accused and test positive for a banned substance, it's automatically you should be out. It's just like these people, these people that's transgenders, and they're letting them compete against these women. To me, it's the same thing. You're gonna let somebody that you know is taking a banned substance to become a man. I mean, that was a man to become a woman. You're gonna let them compete against women. To me, it's the same thing. You know, we got to do a better job in the people we elect to be our Olympic spokespeople, because they're making a mockery of this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Marlena?
I agree with Mitch. Most of all, I like everybody's comments. I agree with Mitch most of all. Black people excel in sports. We all know that. So Shakira, I can't really pronounce her name. She knows she's already under scrutiny being black, you know? And she, as Mitch said, even though she was mourning the loss of her family member, you are a professional athlete. You are an Olympian champion. So you know everything that comes with that, you know, the consequences for drugs and whatnot. And now I clearly see racism, because even though I can't say her first name, Shakira.
I think it's Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri, yeah.
Sha'Carri used marijuana. Marijuana is not a performance enhancing drug, as where the drug that the little Russian girl had in her system was.
Endurance performance.
Yeah. So if you're going to put one person out for a drug that doesn't enhance performance, but keep another in when the drug clearly enhances performance, what does that say? What does that say?
Well,
15 years old or not?
You down. Marijuana's supposed to slow you down, not speed you up.
Right.
But going back to what Dianetta said, though, it's not the AOC, you know what I mean, the USOC, you know, it's the IOC, you know, the international governing body that governs the Olympics, period, that did this, you know what I mean? So what is that saying to the international community, that it's okay to dope? Because what's the purpose of having the anti-doping laws or anti-doping rules if you saying it's okay? But they're saying that because she's a minor, you know, it don't apply to her because she's not in charge of what she puts in her body. Somebody tells her to put this in. But doping is doping no matter what age you is.
Right.
So
regardless
from now on, any other minor that come, any other underage child that comes through the Olympics can use drugs and get away with it.
Well, now they're talking about having an age limit on, because they're saying that she was so young, and if you've noticed, when she did get up there to perform, she fell several times because her coach and her team members put a lot of pressure on her.
Yeah.
And when she did not get a medal and she went home, they berated her, and they was singling out the coach, telling her, you should have done this, and why did you do this, and you should have done something this way. And she's just 15 years old. She's just starting her skating career. And I'm not saying that she won't be a good skater. She probably would be a great skater as she matures. But now this child is saying she will never skate again because she has been berated.
She won't.
But I know, because when she gets back to the skating camp, they're not going to take her.
You'll never hear from her again.
On National Geographic, where they were talking about the skating camps and the Olympic camps that Russia has, and what kind of pressure, because they take them away from their parents, and they school them and they teach them whatever sport that they're in, but they have to excel. They don't take losses very well.
They don't.
You'll never hear from her again.
I know.
Diana. You'll never hear from her again. It's just like Olympic track stars, runners, and the track stars that run. Them white boys, you never hear them white boys again who made it to the Olympics that ran a relay or ran a 40 yard, 100 yard, 200 meters. You never hear from them again. They never get a chance to run again.
What is the sport called where you run and you jump in this little box car like thing and you slide down
the luge. That's the luge.
Long jump.
No, that's the luge. You talking about running that ice thing and you sliding down ice in this little box thing?
Yeah, like some kind of.
That's a luge.
Some kind of little car, some kind of little ice.
Yeah, that's a luge.
Oh, that one.
And you go around this ice track.
And
all these curves or whatever.
The cool running's moving, the luge.
Yeah, that's in the box.
But there's a lady, and I'm thinking that she's from Russia, but I'm not sure. But she joined the American Olympic team. Because she said that she had issues with her coaching, and that she was not happy with, her management of things. So she came to America and got American citizenship and started her sports here. So I can imagine that she was probably maybe going through some of those same things, being pressured into maybe taking some drugs or whatnot.
Probably.
Okay, well, let's give Felicia a chance to wrap this up, and we can move on to the next thing. Close out current event.
And Leon.
Oh yeah, and Leon. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean Lee Jack. I'm sorry.
Lee Jack.
Come on now, don't be messing with Lee Jack now. Dude.
How many names you got, Lee Jack? Leon, Lee Jack.
Okay, well, come on, Miss Felicia, tell us your thoughts.
Well, my personal thoughts is this: she's an Olympian. She knew better. She got standards to uphold to. She's black. She could have knew better. That Russian girl, yeah, she should have been kicked out too. We all know racism is here.
Wow.
But she knew better. And because she's black, a black woman, a black woman that's an Olympian, she has standards to uphold.
Yes, ma'am.
For herself. Not for us as black people, but for herself. Because she went through all that she went through to get there. She knows racism is alive and well. So whatever we do, we basically are walking on eggshells. And if you make it that far, keep going. Don't let nothing stop you. And I understand that bereavement happens and sometimes you just can't handle it, but don't go there because you got standards to uphold. We all know as Black people that our standards are different from someone else's. Our punishment is different from someone else's. We could do the exact same thing, but we get the worst punishment. We already know this. So because we already know this, then there are certain things that we just could not do. I'm so sorry, but it's just something we could not do. That little girl should have got disqualified too. I agree with that was Miss Marlena about about the way it's the drug that the little girl took. It was performance enhancing. A performance enhancing drug. I don't care who is making you take it. It's in your system because you can get disqualified. It shouldn't matter because you're a child nor an adult. It's still in your system.
Okay. All right. Well, Lee Jack, close this out for us.
Well, in communist countries, they don't pretty much have a say-so in anything that they do. They're told by the government or the official presiding over them what they have to do, and they're expected to do it. Even though she's 15, she still has a say-so in saying, no, I don't want to take this, or I'm not going to take this because I don't know what it is, or just because you tell me what it is, or I think I'm supposed to be going along with it. It might affect my chances, or it might affect me being tested positive. Same goes with Chicago. She knew exactly what she was doing. She had a choice to do it or not to do it and accept the consequences behind her actions. You know, I feel bad for her because, you know, just like was said, we as Black people know that we have a whole nother different set of rules we have to abide by. And in order to make ourselves be relevant, we have to walk a tight line and then walk on the eggshells at the same time. Walk your line, do your eggshells, perform well. Once it's over and said and done with, do what you want to do then. You couldn't wait another 2 weeks. So, I mean, that was what it was. But the fact that they criticized her and ridiculed her so bad behind it, she can say that it may have affected her emotionally and mentally. That would be a much better take for her to take behind her lawsuit instead of saying it's discrimination. Because like we said, and like we all know, they don't care about what Black people think or what they do. They just want to make themselves look right, and they're gonna try to throw any excuse up to cover their tails. And that's what they do.
Right. Amen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there y'all have it. And that effectively, people, ends our current event section. And if anybody have any questions, you agree, disagree, send that email to atotalview22@gmail.com. That's atotalview22@gmail.com. And don't forget, we out there on anchor.fm. Out there in all the digital streets, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see us posted up, like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll try our best to answer anything that you guys put out there. I got one quick question. Marlena, what's going on in school?
Oh, Mario. Well, you know, this past week was the week of Valentine's, and prior week, I promised my kids a really, really nice treat. So I decided that I was going to make them some chocolate strawberries with sprinkles and pretzels and whipped cream and popcorn, you know, toppings and things like that. So
shit, I want some of that.
I came home. And because I had so much chocolate here, I decided to use the chocolate that I had instead of going to buy other chocolate. Well, the chocolate wouldn't melt. It wouldn't melt. And I tried to use some, maybe evaporated milk, some condensed milk to try to loosen it up a little bit so it would, stop it. And it did, but then it wouldn't harden back up on the strawberry.
That shit was old.
So that was a done deal. But I can't go back to school with nothing for my kids. So, grandma got to do what a grandma got to do. I had all this stuff and I had to fix it. That's what grandmas do. They fix things.
Blender.
So I cut up my strawberries. Cut up my strawberries. And I just got some Hershey's chocolate.
Uh-oh.
And I broke up my little pretzels.
Put it in the
and
freezer.
grabbed my sprinkles.
Mm-hmm.
And grandma made a strawberry parfait.
There you go.
Okay.
And it has popcorn and chocolate and sprinkles all on top. And pretzels all on top.
All right, Grandma. All right, Grandma.
You can't defeat the school's grandma. And that's
right.
what's happening at school. My kids enjoyed their treat.
Okay.
All right. But
I want one of them.
Yeah, the reason the chocolate didn't melt, chocolate melts best in your mouth, not in your hand,
Well, Mario, I tried not to spend some extra money, but next time I'm going to do the right thing because that is not the chocolate that you use to make chocolate strawberries.
Exactly.
I knew that, but I didn't know the stupid chocolate chips wasn't going to melt. I thought they melt in chocolate chip cookies. They'll melt for some strawberries, but it didn't happen. So the next time I'm going to use what I know I'm supposed to use.
All
Grandma learned her lesson.
Grandma learned her lesson. All right. What's happening
I
in
got
school?
one question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
What grandma doing with all the chocolate though? Is my question.
What grandma doing with? You want to know what grandma doing with the leftover chocolate?
Don't ask that question.
Boy, look at here. Boy, look at here.
I mean, well, since he put it out there, inquiring minds would love to know.
You just messy, Lee Jack. You just messy, Lee Jack. But you gonna quit messing with me.
So you're not answering.
Oh, she answered.
You didn't see what she did.
You didn't see her?
Oh
no.
He's slow. Y'all know that. He always slow.
Hey, I was looking down at the phone. I'm sorry. Do it again.
Do it again.
I'm gonna find some whipped cream and we're gonna use them sprinkles too.
Just for Mario.
Did you see that, Mario?
Yes, I did see that. Now, y'all people go and subscribe to that YouTube channel and y'all will be able to see that too. Okay, all right. So what's happening in school, that was brought to you guys by Marlena. So now we're gonna get into talking to our esteemed guest tonight, King Nigel from Alpha Male Diaries. Nigel, tell us a little bit about Alpha Male Diaries and the whole concept and principle behind it all.
Oh yeah, yes. I'll briefly describe that. But first, I'm gonna get back to your first question. You asked me if I was introducing myself. I had some technical issues.
Okay.
Yes, I am an author and writer with a published book right now that's been produced into a movie with Hollywood through Pearson Media. I have my own clothing website, Repercussions Apparel. At repercussionsapparel.com, I have my own branded label. And I also have a podcast channel by the name of Alpha Male Diaries. Same applies to YouTube.
All right.
Yeah, so pretty much my podcast came about throughout my journey in life. Growing up from a young man to an adult, having my failed relationships and my endeavors throughout life, dealing with women, basically. Could you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and everything like that. So it was basically everything that I pretty much learned in a nutshell on how I should apply myself for what I want in life, how I look at my, things that I want in life, how I value myself, how I would just look at life in general as far as pertaining to my legacy and generational wealth for my children.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this question. It's a two-part question. Then we're going to get into all the stuff from there. One, what is an alpha male? And part two, what is a beta male? What's the difference between the two?
Okay, there's a big difference. Number one, an alpha male is known to be a leader, protector, provider. He has his own rules. He set forth the tone that he wants in his life as far as his marriage. The things that he do in his life as far as networking with people. He's pretty much the guy that everyone can basically look up to follow. They trust that what he's doing, he's going in the right direction, and others see him as an alpha male as well. His peers, other women, because women may look at, men differently as far as a man saying that he's an alpha male versus what a woman sees in her eyes and what she believes is an alpha, what she believes is an alpha male. A beta male alpha males are more traditional first and foremost. So they typically get with women that's going to be on their program or it's nothing at all. Beta males, on the other hand, is more so easily to cater. He allows the role reversals. The woman 9 times out of 10 is the head of the house. She takes charge, she says what goes, and he's fine with that. And there are successful beta males that, have money, but they're just not alpha males because they woman, their girlfriend, their wives, they wear the pants. Alpha males don't typically deal with women with children. They like to create their own legacy, invest in their own children, stuff like that. Beta male would take on the road as being a stepfather, the good guy.
Oh, that is a very interesting thing right there. I've heard you say, the alpha, beta, but I've never heard that part right there about the don't want to deal with other kids, want to take care of his own kids and create his own legacy.
Yeah. There are exceptions for an alpha male to deal with a single mother. Number one, if she was married as a wife and her husband has passed on and is deceased. Or he may make an exception based on the values he sees within that woman. Not to say that he valued her, but her values as far as femininity, beauty, fit, cooperativeness, submissiveness, stuff like that he would look at as a traditional woman. Compared to the modern women that we have today that does not want to follow a man at all or depend on a man or anything. They want to be their own individual. Alpha males don't deal with modern women typically. Those are number one, it's not a such thing as an alpha woman. She could be masculine, as I said before, or overly masculine. Or she could try to pose as a traditional woman in disguise, but she's not alpha. Okay. She just a woman that's in charge of her life, independent, as if a man would be to provide for his family and stuff like that, but she's doing it for herself. And it's just that simple.
Okay, I'm gonna open it up and get everybody else a chance to chime in real quick. But I just want to say, go back to something you said earlier. When you say the alpha male sets his own rules, does that mean that whatever rules he set goes, the woman don't have a chance to have any input? I'm trying to get, when you say set his own rules, what does that mean?
Okay, for example, you have some people that look up to other people, that depend on other people, even for direction, for guidance, for support, and stuff like that. Where alpha, it's not about so much feelings and everything, it's about the outcomes and results that we want. So we typically bypass the whole emotional thing, because at that point, I would say the alpha male, we'll typically bypass those things because we're more focused on getting the things that we need done, whether it's cutting off family, whether it's not being an introvert, but really, discerning to stay away from certain people that will hold you back. What I mean by he set his own rules is that he do his own thing. He don't follow what everybody else does. He does things that benefits him. And I mean, not to say that he does things that hurt people, but it's just that he's in his own lane. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right. So, which one of y'all want to jump
It's
in?
it's like a bad boy type of aura. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Let's
rough around the edges type of guy. You feel me?
let's give
So-
somebody else a chance to chime in here.
Let me make sure I heard you correct. I just want to make sure I heard you correct. So, an alpha male cannot cater to his woman. Did I? I just.
No, the distinction between an alpha male and a beta male when it comes to, okay, for example, 80% of single women, which are single mothers, right? I'm make sure you understand.
Yeah.
They raise men to be beta males. And I would say this because a woman is looked at as being a role model. The woman is looked at the one that's being the leader, the provider, the head of the house, because the father isn't there. So a woman would teach her son, because of the experiences that she may have been through. Let's say they're not so good though, but she would use her experience and bring it down to her son. Make sure that when you get a job, you go to school and everything, so you could be able to provide for your wife or family. It's all geared towards the satisfaction and gratification of a woman versus for what he wants in life. What do you want? Do you want to work and get degrees and everything, become valuable just for the sole purpose of having a woman? Or do you want to do it so that you can maintain and establish your legacy? So what I'm saying is this: alpha males are submissive to their wives as long as their wives are submissive and cooperative. It's like when she does the things that he asks of her, not tell her, but as long as she's willing to agree and do those things, then in return, he does whatever she wants.
So okay, got you. And also in that, you also made the statement that alpha males don't become stepfathers. So
right.
You can't be an alpha male while dealing with someone else's children. Am I hearing you correct?
Halfway. No, what I said was
that's why I'm asking these questions. So I want you to clear it up.
No, you're fine, because I love these topics. I'm like, it's like another Kevin Samuels when you're talking to me. But I'm very red pill, very, very red pill. But what I say is this: the reason why it's like this because, for example, a single mother can easily end a relationship. They could be together 5 or 7 years, and that man done invested his time, energy, attention, financial resources, and effort, and raising this young man to be a man to try to break the cycle of, once again, producing a single parent household, of being a single mother. But she walks away, and from 17 years that man invested in that stepchild is gone. It's pretty much over. That woman can control if that man can see that child or not, depending on how old the child is. If the child has become of age, like 18 or 19, we can say, hey, that's still my dad. But the mom, if it's a minor, could just, walk away, and that's that. The difference is with the alpha male dealing with his own child, it's a such thing as like going to court to get joint custody. It's a big difference, all that stuff. Even if there's a medical condition.
Not meaning to cut you off or anything like that, but even if an alpha male dealing with his own child, that child can still walk away from that alpha male as well. Because and the reason why I say that is because you got to remember that child has a mind of its own.
Based on how that child was raised. Based on how it's a lot of single mothers who raise their sons to be beta males and cater. Hey, make sure you treat your woman good. Now, if you get with a woman, make sure you do right by her. And if you accept the woman with kids, it's a package deal because men came into her life as a stepfather. So she's going to bring that down to her son. But because she's hurt, dealing with trauma, making bad choices, she decided to be with those men. When it's over, it doesn't go her way, or let's say it ended bad. F a man this, F a man that. Girl, when you grow up, go to school, get your degrees, get an education. Don't depend on a man. You see with your father or your stepfather, or you see how many men came in and out of my life, she would teach that woman to be an individual.
That's not true.
She would raise her son to cater to a woman.
I don't agree. I don't know which women does things
No,
like
I
that.
said
I don't know
single
any woman
mothers.
that has taught
Single mothers.
a man what you just said. That sounds like a derogatory statement towards women.
No, it actually isn't though, because it's not a lot of women out there that single mothers that would teach their sons though to go out and have their like own families. Like all the way they would say, well, sometimes you may not get a woman that don't have kids because it's a lot of women these days that have kids. But that depends
Men
on
as
how much
well,
money
men as
that man
well.
is making. That
Men
all
as
differs
well.
based on his income. And women does teach their sons that. But their fathers, hey, no, don't do it. Have your own kids. And that's the big difference. There's no exceptions. When the father is in the house versus when the mother raised her son. It's all an emotional thing. That's why a lot of black men grow up in our communities angry. Everything is emotional. It's not really looking at like, if we have a problem, how do we get to the bottom of it so we can get the results and the outcomes that we're looking for? It's totally different. Single mothers cannot raise their sons to be men. And that's just the whole fact. So what's going to happen? They're going to look up to a woman to have an attitude. For example, if I have a woman, she got to have an attitude. I don't want a girl that's a punk. I want a girl that's kind of, snappy at the mouth or whatever. She got to be feisty. That's unhealthy. That's dysfunctional and toxic. Because that's what he's seen his whole life. His mother running the house. His mother, being emotional because sometimes things get hard as a single mom. So what's going to happen? She's going to be emotional. She's going to be angry. She's going to have resentment. And that's going to be passed down to her children. So she's going to teach her son, listen, if you meet a woman, and that's what it's all going to be about. Don't do her like this. Don't do her like that. Make sure you treat her good. Make sure you buy her gifts. No, she has to earn that. You don't just give a woman anything. Your time is valuable just like hers. And that's just how it is. They don't teach their sons to really worry about getting married when you're financially stable around the age of 35 on up.
So as a woman, just supposed to give a man anything?
No. A woman, based on the man that she's interested in, it's a give and thing. It's a give and take. So suppose, for example, if a woman want a guy making 65, 70,000 a year, let's say because she's making 36,000, just to say, okay, that woman, because it's other women that's out there that's making what she makes, or that's in a better position, even though they make the same amount, their values and qualities are different as women. But they will be entitled, well, shoot, if I like him, I'm a woman, this, that, and the third, why don't he like me? And stuff like that, and they have a hard time dealing with rejection. It's like, oh, you don't want to talk to me because whatever the case is, rather this is something to be what it is.
Okay, wait, Mitch, I heard you say on something. You want to chime in here?
Well, he said that a woman can't raise a boy to be a man, and that's not true. See, I don't know where you got that one from. My mother raised me, my grandmother raised me, and I think I'm all kind of man. I don't think I'm an alpha man, and I don't think I'm a beta man. I think I'm a man, because I do what I'm supposed to do and what thus says the Lord tells me to do.
Glad you said that.
Society thinks I'm supposed to do.
I'm glad you said that. And I agree with you because we're men. But this is what I'm saying by man. A man that women desire. That's what I mean by a woman can't raise a man. A man that women desire. A man
that women desire.
That's what I mean, because what I can say is this. You can say that you're a man, but a woman, based on what you can do for her, whether you can provide or not, she would determine if you are the man that you said you are. I mean, she would literally like that, bro. Like, she would literally bash you, make her mad. Oh, you broke this, nigga. You ain't no, trust me, it's going to come out. You ain't no man. Some of us probably heard this before.
Bro, I heard that and I understand that, but you know what?
That's why
the type of dude that I am, I don't depend or rely on what somebody else thinks of me because I can stand on my own.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting.
So with that being said, Nigel, as an alpha male looking for that particular woman. Now, if you come as an alpha male with kids looking for that woman, is she as the woman supposed to accept your kids?
Number one, alpha males, our children, it's not the other way how a woman, if she looks for a guy, she's looking for a stepfather. Men that are financially established, we take care of our own kids. We just need you to be the wife. because my daughter's 18 going on 19, my son 25 going on 26. But most men that have children are in a financial position to do so without needing a system. You don't have kids unless you can raise them out of your pocket. I have custody of my daughter. My son's grown. My daughter still lives with me to this day. And she's in college for med school. I'm putting her through med school. I went to college as a dual major, accounting, computer programming, science, and engineering. I was an electrical engineer before I wrote my book and everything. So I was able to take care of my own kids. I didn't need a woman to step in and be a stepmom. They have a mother for that. You know what I mean? But I have custody of them. So how my house is ran, based on the discipline, the structure of my house, is up to that woman to take part of that as the nurturer as far as the wife and stuff, you know, but I'm not saying she has to come out her pocket and buy my kids anything or discipline my kids. My kids are grown, they're respectful first and foremost, but if you're dealing with little kids, the same applies. Because that woman is not looking for that man, you know, to take care of that man. She's looking for a man to take care of her. So that is a trade-off. Okay, he make 150 to 230,000. His kids are grown, but shit, girl, long as you know I'm good, you take care of me, I'm fine. You have women that understands these things.
But you saying that you can say that all I need for her to be is the wife, don't need her to take care of my kid. But as the alpha male, she can't say that to you. I don't need you to be no father to my kids. I just need you to be with me. So she can't say that to you?
No, because my wife, if we get married, we're gonna have a discussion. You're gonna move into my house, or we can get a house together. You know what I mean? So once they think, oh no, that's not the case, because if something like a bill is due and she knows he's sleeping with you, you know this too. I mean, that's gonna be hey, I need help, and it's not just gonna solely be for her. I doubt that. Not if she's looking for a man to take care of her as a traditional woman, or even as a modern woman wanting a guy with this, you know, a high earning guy.
Okay,
Men
so
don't see successful men don't look for stepmothers. Like we build our legacy and we build generational wealth. Our kids that come out of our pocket. She has no financial burden on our kids. We make enough money to hire nannies so she can stay home and be with the kids, but she has a choice. If she don't want to, that's fine. Then that's when you move on to the next. You know, somebody that's just how it goes with men. You can't get mad at it. You can't get mad. You gotta lay everything on the table.
Hold on, Mark. You know, Nigel, realistically, that doesn't work that way, right? You do know that, right?
No. Yeah, I'm saying.
And the reason why I say that is because if an alpha male has children and has a wife, and that wife bonds with those children, then
That's
they're
why I
gonna
said she
go
has a choice.
to that wife sometimes instead of their father. So you do know realistically that doesn't work the way that you're saying that works, right?
No. Realistic, what I said is she has a choice based on what that man is looking for. For example, me, I don't date. I vet for marriage, you know, so it's not like I'm going on consistent dates because I'm not going to play that type of game. For men like me, dating sucks. We all know it's not worth our time and any of that stuff. So what I'm saying is this: if I find a woman and we happen to talk before now, we decide to actually go on a date because now we're discussing what's going to happen as far as our future. You're looking for marriage, I'm looking for marriage, okay? Very direct. I'm gonna lay everything out on the table. I have 2 kids, and 9 times out of 10, we look for childless women. So it's up to her to say, well, okay, I want kids or I don't want kids. Or, well, you got 2 kids. Oh, wow, your son is around my age. My son is 26, let's say, for example. I don't think I could do that. Okay, then that's fine. Right then and there, we just cut ties. So what I'm saying is, I would rather look for a woman for a wife, not as a stepmother. Primarily a wife. For me, in my position, my children are grown. You know, they're grown. So I don't have 5 or 6-year-old kids running around the house, whereas I need a woman to take care of y'all. That's not the case. We could drop them off to their mother's house for that.
Okay. So wait, real quick. Let's get Marlena's opinion on the whole where he said he don't date, he vet for marriage. Well, how do you feel about that, Marlena?
That's his choice if that's what he does, and that's how he chooses to live. But in reality, it does not really work that way for most people.
Bullshit.
Okay, go ahead, Mitch.
This whole thing is bullshit. Grown people do grown things. When you get a woman, you already know what you're trying to do. Regardless of how many damn kids she got or how many kids you got, if you want to be with her, you're going to want to be with her. Two people supposed to get together and make a house. House divided can't stand. I don't give a damn how much she make or how much you make. Y'all got to come together and get together as one to make everything work out. It don't matter who has this many kids or who has that many kids. I've raised 8 children. I'm 52 years old. I don't need no damn body. I'm good with who I am. I got a house. Matter of fact, I got 3.
Right.
What I'm getting at is this. See, a real man does what he has to do. My father didn't raise me. My grandparents and my mother raised me. It didn't hurt me that my father didn't raise me because it made me a better man to who I am today. I'm not getting down on your alpha or the beta. I'm not getting down on none of that bullshit because that's what it is to me. It's bullshit because it's not real. Because a real man does what real men do. And that's do what has to be done at that point. Because a man, when he sees a child that needs, a man steps up and be the man that he's supposed to be to make sure that child gets to where he is. Because without a man stepping up, we won't have anything to represent our black culture. That's
regardless to whether he's the stepfather or not, a man is gonna do whatever he's gonna do.
That's right.
You know what? No, but see, that's the thing. I agree with everything you said because same thing. I had a stepfather. My stepfather passed at 96, in 1996, 7 months before my son was born. You know, my first child. So he never had a chance to meet with, what his grandfather would have been. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is this: when you're coming from the business perspective, the business world, time is very valuable. You can't take those chances as an average, what women would call the average man, because 90% of women want 10% of earning men. So once you get to that bracket, your life is totally different. It's not like that, the average Joe.
I get that.
Women are coming at you specifically, man, to trap you up. I mean, seriously. You know what I mean? And a lot of women, I'm trying to be serious about this, they are lazy daters. They don't want to be this traditional woman because like they feel, what if he leaves? Or my aunt's marriage was bad, or my mom went through a failed marriage. Like all this fear, all this, lack of trust and all this stuff is a major problem. And this is what started in our houses. So when you see men get dissed by women when he's coming up the ladder, oh no, girl, shoot, I don't want to have kids by him. I don't got no kids either. I don't want my kid growing up this, that, and the third. But when he make it, now all of a sudden the same women that shot him down, now they want him to be this provider male. So now you're looking at both ends of the spectrum. When I was this average guy, when I was this dude, this good guy, when I was this beta male, I got ran over. I wasn't appreciated. Mm-hmm. So now I decided to invest solely and focus on my legacy. And I'm not about to deal with your kids because it's like this. It's like I provide and maintain for mine. A real man would do the same thing for his, where no man would have to do for his kids. No man. Because if every man was this real man, no man should be no woman and no man technically shouldn't have kids without being married in the first place to avoid all this step or beta or modern or traditional anything. Because now that women have to struggle and survive on their own, let a man walk in that house and try to take, hey, sit down, or hey, do this. Hey, well, hold on now. I don't even say that or whatever. Or they dads, they gonna handle that. Like, you have to deal with a lot of stuff and a lot of women. Now, this is what you have to understand. When you're dealing with a single mother, man, you have to deal with a woman that has an extensive past, good or bad, toxic, healthy, or whatever the case is. The trauma she dealt with growing up with her mom because her dad wasn't there, being touched in inappropriate ways by family. I mean, you have a whole bunch of these things that's going on in these households, and it's spilled down into our community.
Okay, hold on, real quick, Donetta. Let me get you to chime in on this. What are your just overall thoughts and opinion on what we're talking about?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
For real?
Okay, all right. Well, we'll come back to you. I know you got some. We'll
come back. You ask me what it is, so I'm just telling you how people see it. So I'm just like, that's a true fact. You can ask any man that makes, well, you know what? Because that's what women do. They would classify man what he is based on his finances. Oh, he's not an alpha man. He only making 50,000. And why people do that? Because his girlfriend is making 50,000, 60,000, but he's not going to have that type of he's not going to be able to maintain his masculinity based upon the woman he has, whether she's traditional or modern.
Okay.
And that's why it is like this beta and alpha, because of the traditional and modern thing, period, anyway. Back then, all men who got married their wives back then, when our grandparents got married, 20s, 30s, they was provided, they was automatically alphas, because they was providers. They took care of the kids, they took care of other people's kids. You know what I mean? Like when auntie or uncle passed away, he made enough money, he put them in as well and raised his nieces and nephews and stuff like that. Men done the same things. But now that women are more independent and less dependent on a man, it's a whole different mindset, bro. You can't make 50,000 approach a woman that's make 50,000. She's like, you don't have nothing to offer me. You can't even buy me this, that, and the third. That's what modern women do.
Okay, hold
That's
that
not
thought.
the right woman you want anyway. If she's sitting back counting your coins, because she already makes 50.
But today, that's what they want
anyway.
Right.
Wait,
today, this is what they do, though. They would look down on a man for making 50,000 if they made 70,000. But a man can go down the list and date up in cooperation. A man can make $100,000 and date a woman that's making 25 and take her out of work and have her work part-time for him. As a modern woman wouldn't do that, that's making 100, making six figures. No. And a man's making 45,000 and she willing to invest that in him.
No.
So think about it. So why should us men invest so much if we're not? They want to be treated equal, which I understand the laws, everything, all that stuff is fine. But if you want to take the whole, if you want to be equal, do the dangerous jobs, and all the other stuff. Like take on providing for a family that's not yours. Help put a man where he's supposed to be if that's the case. If you're in a position to do so, but that type of man is not respected.
Okay, hold on. Lee Jack. Let's get Lee Jack a chance. Then I'm gonna go to you, Felicia. Be ready, Felicia.
Well, my mindset is totally different.
Yeah.
We'll come to you. Lee Jack, chime in. What are you thinking about Nigel's position, or how you feel? Agree, disagree, yay, nay, hey, cat, dog, what?
Well, it's a lot to process there, but I'm like Mitch. I was raised by a single mother. My father was never in the picture, but being raised by a woman didn't give me the mindset of being alpha male or a beta male, anything like that. It gave me the mindset of I want to be a better man than my father was.
Thank you.
Because he didn't want to be there for his children. I want to be there for my children. And if it so happens that the woman that I'm with got kids, hell, I'm gonna be there for them too, because that's the man that I'm gonna be.
Amen.
Yeah, right.
As far as the money aspect of things goes, that's neither here nor there, because as far as what it goes with the money, as far as women go, that's more of a corporate level thing. Women feel as though I'm making 6-7 figures in my job. I want a man that's gonna be making 6-7 figures at his job, so we can both bring something to the table on equal levels. As far as on our level, for as anywhere from 12,000 to 50,000 a year, men and women are thinking like that. They thinking of, I want to be with somebody I want to be happy with, that I can be in love with, that we can build something together. And they want a man that's going to bring something to the table, that as far as if he's in the house with me, then let's build this together. Help me with this, and I'm gonna help him with this, and we're gonna talk about things, and we're gonna get things together so that we can make everything better for us now and later.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna go to Felicia really quick, but I don't know if I'm on board with everything that Nigel say, but the point he makes about the money is valid. I'm just gonna say that the point about it, cause we will elevate women sometimes, not because a woman, she gonna love you. And when I say a woman, let's start off by saying a good woman. A good woman. When I'm saying woman, I mean a good woman. Right. Will love and take care of you, and she really love you. She may not care about the money, but you rarely see a lot of $100,000 women elevate a $25,000 man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you will see it vice versa. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll agree in that aspect. Go ahead, Felicia. What's your overall thoughts on it?
My overall thoughts on.
No, go ahead, Felicia.
My overall thoughts. So, alpha, bullshit. Beta, bullshit. It's all a choice. You're gonna do what you want to do, and I really can't say too much on it because everybody else has said everything that I just totally agree with. But I just think that's a bunch of bullshit.
All right, y'all. This is all interesting, but we're going to have to keep this right there. We want to thank Nigel for coming and hanging out with us. This is only part 1. Y'all definitely stay tuned for part 2. Nigel's coming back, and he's going to finish breaking down the Alpha Male Diaries to us. So y'all take it easy. Don't forget, go atotalview22@gmail if you have any correspondence for any one of the hosts, any one of the panelists, and my man Nigel. Don't forget to go check him out on Alpha Male Diaries. He's out there on Facebook. You can pull up Alpha Male Diaries anywhere that you listen to podcasts. With that being said, we out. And don't forget, be on the lookout for part 2.